What's up, everyone? Obviously, nobody's on here yet because nobody got notified. But anyway, for those of you guys watching after the live stream, this is just to get some of you guys in here, give you guys a platform to ask some questions. I really do enjoy our live streams. I want to start doing them more often again. Maybe actually schedule a time every other week to sit down and basically open up the channel for you guys to just ask questions and kind of see what happens. What's up, Sean? Sean, you are on fire lately, getting into all this stuff and asking questions, brother. So anyway, Sean, basically what this is just your guys' platform to ask me questions, or whether it be about 6 liters, catch up, whatever, just kind of hanging out and seeing how everyone is. Just luck. I don't know, bloke's been slacking, Sean. I was giving him crap. I saw he was on Loud and Proud's one thing. I started giving him a hard time saying, is this where you've been instead of on my channel? Who else is in here with us? Let's any questions? As I said, this is just kind of a hangout, ask about the truck, ask about Josh's truck. We do have some pretty exciting news coming, but I am waiting for the package to get here before I actually reveal that. But there is something kind of that Josh and I are both really excited about, a product to bring to you guys. So we're going to try to do a fair amount with this. It's something small, but it's kind of cool, and it's very exciting for us as a channel. Sean, you will be happy I did mow today. I will make sure to let my mother know that you're keeping me in line as far as getting that done. The weather's been awful up here. It just horrendous. We're so waterlogged up here. If you, Sean, you follow me on Instagram. You probably saw. Oh, my sister's in. I'm sorry. Being supportive. It's about time, Jordan. Typically, you're not very supportive at all. But yeah, we've been so waterlogged up here lately, Sean. It's been a mess, and to get out and do anything is even harder. Fortunately, I shot a lot of video that I've been slacking on getting to you guys. I know you saw the last one showing a goofy mistake I made putting the truck back together the day I worked on injectors. So, you know, I have a lot of that stuff coming from around that time period. So I was like early July, mid-July, something like that. I was doing all that. When you doing the 190/30s? Not soon enough, Sean. Don't you tell everyone I'll be in a video coming soon. Jordan probably is going to be in a reaction video soon, one of these days, seeing my sister be goofy. She's not driving the truck. You guys decided she should drive Josh's truck, not mine, and we're going to stick to that. Sean, as far as 190/30s, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still sold on doing them. The 190/30s, I think, are going to be an awesome injector size for me. Oh, Seth, I'm sorry to hear that you're down in a hurricane, man. Be safe. If you're down there waiting it out, or if you didn't leave the area, just be safe. And I'm with you, man. That hurricane, I was just watching the news with my mom in the other room, and we go down to Myrtle Beach pretty much every year, and it's, you know, we're just thinking about the place we love to go, and we're kind of worried about it. But Sean, the 190/30s, I think, might be a spring project before the first time I tow. Any update on the new Radiator? I am doing the Radiator next Tuesday. My goal is to get 2 more videos out to you guys. That should get me caught up with the stuff I'm behind from when I did the high-pressure oil pump and an air test video. And I have some footage from me putting the new injectors in. Not necessarily a how-to because we've already done them, but there is something there. As far as what I can tell visually on it, it appears to be thicker. It was hard to measure the one that's in the truck right now, but it does appear to be thicker. I want to get measurements of my old Radiator, the stock Radiator, the current Mishimoto one in there, and the performance one. Now, I will also say I'm doing a fan clutch. I got a fan clutch code this week. You know, it's the stock one from when the truck was made. So it is pretty old. It's got a lot of miles on her. Not very easy miles either. I don't feel I abuse my truck, but I work on it. Trying to think here. I forget what the performance one measured. I did measure it. I just cannot for the life of me remember how thick it was. But it definitely is thicker than the old one. I can 100% guarantee that it will do better. David Bitts. Everybody, I went to high school with David. And he actually just lives down the road from me. He has a Dodge Cummins. I always see him goofing around in. He always has something hooked up to it. Constantly. David's out driving his truck. He has a trailer on it. I think he just does it for fun. Just think he drives around with a trailer on his truck. Sean, there was no charge for the updated one. I don't recommend doing what I did and buying the cheap Mishimoto radiator and coming back and hoping. There was that I believe it was Seth. I talked to a few people online through either here or some people Instagram messaged me that they had the cheaper one or they were looking at it, and Mishimoto 2 trailers today. I'm telling you guys, David just hooks up to a trailer and drives around for fun. Going out on a date with his fiance, trailer, just for fun. But in no charge, I did the same. But Instagram, yeah. So Seth was one of the lucky ones that got charged just for shipping. I was fortunate they did send it to me for free. Very appreciative that Mishimoto did that. And even if they'd have charged me $30 for shipping, I wouldn't have been mad at that. I think that's pretty reasonable. But a lot of people that have contacted me said they are charging them the difference. So it's roughly $350 difference, something like that. Which I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy about that for the people that are in that situation. I did not send the old one back, and they didn't ask for any information to send it back. So I'm probably going to give it away. I will say this, I'm not spending the money to ship it back to them unless they're going to, if they're going to send me a shipping label and say they want it back, I'll do that. But I'm not shipping it back to them. Truthfully, I think they should stop selling that one altogether. It's definitely an inferior product. And I will say this, in their defense, my fan clutch, that code didn't set. The fan clutch probably wasn't working as it should completely. I do think there's something to that, but I'm going to do the fan clutch and the radiator all at once, and at least I'll be able to say something about what they have there. Now, if for you guys that maybe want information on how the old one performs, my temps are fine not towing. They're garbage when I tow. Oil, if I'm in it hard. Like on one aspect, the truck pulls like a freight train. In my tow tune, I love it. More power than I need. David, I would get rid of your Dodge Cummins immediately. That's my recommendation. Talk to Greg at DNA and tell him to find you a 6-liter. Truthfully, David, I don't know what stock rims on that year look like, brother. I don't know. I don't know if the rims you have on there right now look like, Dave, to be honest with you. Send me a picture or something. But my personal opinion would be to get rid of a Dodge and get yourself a powerstroke. Easy 5.9 rounds to 6.0. Guys, in the comments, let's hear it. Do you want to find out that my friend sells his truck and gets himself a 6-liter? A real 6-liter, not a round up. It's like the 4.9 that Ford called a 5.0 for however long that was. But as far as temps with the Mishimoto one, it's pretty easy for me to get it up to 230. That's when my fan would engage, and it would drop at 10 degrees before shutting off. So about 219, it would shut off, and the oil would come right down with that. But while it was at 230, my oil temp was at, my oil temp would be like 252. Power Stroke Bloke, welcome to the 6 Bros. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you, man. It's been a long time. Is your homework done, though? I do not want angry messages from your parents saying you're watching my channel and not doing your schoolwork. I have looked at the trans cooler, but Ford puts a good transmission cooler in from factory, Dave. Sean, Bloke's in high school. He's a young buck. I do think the Mishimoto one looks. Jordan, that's not an option. David, I think all of us can support you getting a 2017 6.7 Power Stroke. That'd be awesome. And then you need to let me drive it. Jordan, Sean has spoken. They want to see you drive Josh's truck. Yes, it is, Mom. She's in the chat. Give the people what they want. That's me driving. Jordan, they don't want to see you drive it. They want to see you drive Josh's truck. They realize you can't handle the power of mine. If you can, you are definitely not on the list of people that can, Jordan. Bloke, are you officially looking at a truck, or just that's your plan? And Bloke, don't listen to everybody that says there's a better or worse year of the 6-liter to buy. They all have their quirks. Jordan, you can't handle Big Dirty. You're not ready.
I drove your truck.
That's right. My mom has driven my truck. I don't know if you guys can hear her in the background commenting. So far, she agrees Jordan shouldn't drive my truck and that she has driven.
I didn't say that.
But
I did not say that.
Jordan says, hey, Ma.
I didn't say that, honey. Jared's making things up.
David, I'll give you crap about that truck all day, but man, if it runs, it runs. I mean, you're talking to somebody that has Ford's most hated diesel and loves it. So the 5.9, I think, is a good power plant. I think that, well, you have a built transmission, don't you, Dave? Eric, I'm with you. I wish I had a 05 or 06. I prefer their front end. And I think the Raptor style grill I have looks even cooler on them. I do think the 6.4 ended up being a slightly arguable. Steve. Hammer. Let's show this. Let's see what's up. So Hammer Down Motorsports is a good friend of mine, guys. Check out his channel. He's a great guy. We occasionally goof around. He's the one that just commented about we need to build a Harley 350 Cummins swap. Steve, how about we be the first two to put a Ford and a Dodge? How often do you see that? You put your Dodge back together and blow that V10 up, if that's possible. And let's put a 7.3 in there. Let's be those two guys. That's a project I can get behind. Never. Billet all the things triple desk. Yeah, so Dave's solid. See, Steve, I knew you'd be on board. 7.3 in that second gen body would be awesome. Just make sure you use a Ford tranny. Well, of course. Let's see here. I'm a little behind in the comment section. Well, Dodge trucks are crap. No one's the truck, just the engine. Blow, go check out Steve's channel because he has a second gen Dodge that is actually, it looks a little rough, but I've seen it in person. It's going to be freaking awesome when it's done and it's all one color. It's the only reason it looks rough is it's not all one color. Seth, my truck is only leveled. It's got a 2.5-inch leveling kit up front, and I'm probably lifted like 4 inches in the rear with my airbags. So it has a very slight rake to it. I took the rusty bits off. I love that. Regular cab, long bed, the V10 in it. That's awesome. I can't wait for you to start working on it. When you start working on that, I need to come over, have a few beers with you, and give you a hand with whatever you need. I'm excited for that. It's going to be cool. That shop's going to be huge, by the way, Steve. I checked out your last video. That looks awesome. Blow, get yourself a 6-liter. Yeah, guys, on Steve's channel, he has everything to rock and roll with this Dodge build he's doing. It's going to be awesome. 6.0s are rare around you. They're all over the place up here. I know, Steve, I was complaining about that at the start of this stream. Like, it's just nonstop with rain up here. Everyone sold their 7.3s for a 6-liter, probably. That's what happened. I mean, not likely, but that's my story. Everyone buys the Cummins and it comes in a Dodge shipping container. That's funny. The Cummins is a great power plant. It really is. I'm not going to dog on that. And I think the new Cummins, or the new Dodges look all, or excuse me, the new Ram looks awesome. Yes, Steve. Steve, join the Ford family, man. I'd love to see you buy a 2017 so I can live through you and not have to actually pay for one. And if my truck breaks down at the track again, maybe I can get towed home by a Ford instead of a Dodge. Ford Power, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. Steve, those 150s they are something. They are absolutely monsters. Those 5.4 Fords are still, despite not being taken care of, are just going along, hanging out, pulling diesels. Where am I at here? I have my 6.0 tore down to the block again, getting my heads machine. Oh, Eric, that stinks, man. Have I told you about Kill Devil diesel cylinder heads? Because I highly recommend them. I think they're just a great product. And as the stock head castings are getting older, there's questionable castings out there that are garbage. Kill Devil Diesel's doing an awesome thing, and gave me the confidence to put a fair amount of power through my truck. The L5P is okay. A tuned one whooped up on me at the last call out I raced at. I'm hoping they do that again. I don't know if they're going to be doing the racing for spectators to buy in like they did last time. I hope they do. I'm still going to the call out. My truck needs a locker. could use a locker. But yeah, no, I need to, I'm sorry, I'm distracted because my sister's playing my stream very loudly in the other room and I can't focus. Bloke, he's Jared at Kill Devil's an awesome guy. That's why the 150 fooled you. Steve, you tell that whole story. I was in 2-wheel drive. You were in 4-wheel. It was awesome, though. That was so much fun that day. Now we need to see if the truck can tow or can pull 2 F-150s and 2, while they're both in 2-wheel drive. 1-wheel drive. Hey, that 1 wheel spun hard. I'm thinking when that axle gets swapped out for a newer one, we're going to fix that. Traction beats power. Truthfully, so I saw, I think it was Sean asked about the axle swap. I am planning on doing it probably November would be my goal, because we have a camping trip at the beginning of October. The call out is the 20th. And if they do let people buy into race, I don't want to be messing with my axle quite yet. I'll race, and then when I'm done with that, that's probably it for anything crazy for the year. And I'd like to just then build it after that. Looking over this now. Seth, I have not. I'm planning on doing it Tuesday. I just ordered a fan clutch for the truck. I'm going to do all that on next Tuesday. So there'll be a video probably late next week on that. Bloke, I have no idea what my 0 to 60 time is. I can tell you what it was at the last call out before injectors. Let me quick check out my Instagram here, because I posted my fastest time streak. Mom, it's not happening. She's not driving my truck. It's no good. 0 to 60. No, it doesn't have 0 to 60 on here. It has 60-foot time, which mine was terrible. The ride home was very nice. The ride home from the last call out was very nice. With my buddy Steve was nice enough to give me a ride home, because I popped a fuse and I thought I checked it and I very clearly did not check it. So yeah, that sucked. Steve had the greatest line at the call out though. So there we are. Truck's not running. I get it towed outside the gate so I can mess with it later. And I'm over with Steve hanging out. He has his truck on and he's like, "What's that sound?" And he puts his ear down to the hood of his truck and he perks up and goes, "Oh, a running diesel." It was hysterical. It was a little too soon for the wound I had suffered, but it was funny as anything. Let's see here. So I went over the new rad next week. I want to get some firing heads. Just not budget for now, my friends. Simple parts for 175/30 is an awesome injector for the truck. 175/30 is really great. I thought about doing that instead of the 190/30s, but just to have that little bit extra fuel in case I ever did decide to go bigger in the future, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I don't see me really I won't be able to clean up with my turbo I'm going to pick out. Well, the next turbo I put on isn't going to be big enough to clean up 190/30s. Yeah, Mom, Jordan's definitely not driving it. Trying to get caught back up here in the comments, guys. Sweeney, how you doing, man? The truck's doing good, Dutchman. That last video was an old one from like July where I goofed up, but Yeah, truck's running great. Going to do a radiator and fan clutch next Tuesday, and we'll see. Steve, you're not. You're a nice man. I do still need a Fickum tune. It'll probably be a winter project. I'm trying to think of stuff to do throughout the winter, guys, that can keep content to the channel when I'm not able to really mess with the truck much. So I'm trying to come up with ideas to keep everything going and keep providing videos for you guys. Jordan, not happening. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? Truck Guy Joe, another guy that has a cool YouTube channel. It takes 10 minutes. It does take 10 minutes, but it could be a few videos. I'm going to probably purchase Power Hungry Performance's Fickum tuner with all four, so I can kind of do the economy for when I'm towing 40, 80, and a Hercules tune, and just kind of show the difference between all of them and what it does with my tuning, with my actual ECM tuning. Joe, how are you doing, brother? I was talking to you about the Stage 1 cam offered by Kill Devil. Seth, I actually have a Stage 2 Colt cam in my truck. I was looking at the Stage 1 originally, and I had decided against it after talking to Jared at Kill Devil. He kind of talked me into it for two reasons. One, the Stage 1 is just a regrind, so you have to send in your cam to get reground, and Colt is in Canada. So you got to ship it all the way up there to get back down here. It's a fair amount of nonsense. Nothing against their Stage 1 grind at all. Whereas with the Stage 2, it's slightly more aggressive, not bad, and it's brand new. You don't have any wear on it. There's nothing polished off. It's a brand new product, and it's very diverse in what you can do with it. Keeter runs Stage 2 Colt cam in his drag truck, so we can do everything from what that guy does with his drag racing to towing my 13,000-pound camper. You know, it's a great product, and I would say it cuts spool up time in half, easily in half. So I highly recommend the Stage 2 cam. It's awesome. Late model interior. No, definitely not, Seth. That's what I run, the Stage 2, and it is absolutely awesome. Absolutely love it. If I did another one, I would definitely do another Stage 2. Good to have you in here, Joe. So camper drag, I'm in, Steve. Let's hook up and let's drag race. We need to find two campers that are similar in weight, though. Although your truck has a lot more weight than mine with all your tools on it. Truck Guy Joe, I'm with you, man. I really want to race again. I meant to get out more this year, and I've just been so busy. But I'd love to race at Maple Grove. One, it's close to Steve, so if I break down, I can have beer at his house as I drown my sorrows away. Dude, I'm in. I'm not even kidding. I'm in. Your camper or your truck? Because if your truck's 10K and your camper's close to that, we'd probably be pretty close in overall weight. Do you think Maple Grove would let us race the campers down? That's what we need to convince them to do. That would be so much fun, though. I bet between your camper and the extra weight your truck has over mine, they'd probably be pretty similar in weight, final setup. Cecil probably would. God love those rednecks down there. There's always Mexico. That is true. There is always Mexico. Maple has the sharp turn. That would not be fun. Cecil's isn't bad. That would seriously be. I bet. Jared, what was your first viral video? Racing my camper against Steve. That would be awesome. Who wants to see that happen? Steve and me race with our campers hooked up. Fifth wheel quarter mile. We'd be so slow. Would you guys run the quarter mile in? Minute. I'm definitely down, Steve. I support this terrible decision to race our fifth wheel or to race our campers. Joe wants to ride inside. All of a sudden, we started talking about racing campers. All of a sudden, we got 5 people to the live stream. They do. They have that bumper pull with like a skid loader or something on it. I will hang out the window and Phil. You're going to need to hang out his bathroom window. I will already have enough wind resistance with a fifth wheel. Joe, what if we give you like a safety harness and put you on top? That is true, Steve. We could have our fridges on while we race with cold beer in them. I feel like Cecil would be okay with it. We're like, no. We gave him a helmet and we gave him a safety harness. He's fine. I do feel like that video would definitely go viral. Or at least Joe's portion of filming would. We'll talk to Cecil. Make it happen. That would be insane. Don't even mention anyone's in it. Josh, get out of here. I did not, Josh, but that's because when I was getting ready to go, Mom said she was going to get it tomorrow. And she told me that she would tell you that she was getting it. Currently a stock one. I have a stock transmission that's probably on, I wouldn't say it's on borrowed time, because I drive fairly responsibly most of the time. And I'm running like my 3rd slowest tune. Yeah, I think your truck being stock, it would really be about the only thing that saved me from not losing. My live chat disappeared. Am I related to half the subscribers? No, I'm not. I'm related to quite a few of the subscribers. No, but a lot of them are also local. Or I met Joe at the call out, which one of the coolest guys to meet. Between Joe and Steve, I don't think I looked like a complete idiot drag racing. Not to say I know what I'm doing, because I don't. But I could have looked a lot worse if it wasn't for them. My very first time lining up, I went past the staging part, and then it took Joe honking his horn and telling me to scoot back to realize what I did. And then Joe got yelled at the end of the lane because he pulled over to tell me my truck was fast, even though he beat me. Yeah, he really was. He was not happy with us. Yelling out his truck. I didn't think he was even paying attention because there he was playing on his tablet or something. Get off the track! Which we technically were off the track. As it turns out, not a nice place to park. They get upset about that. Yeah, he was pretty upset. The same guy had to tow my truck down the way a little later that evening. Which stings because I started having issues when I finally took 0.2 of a second off my 60 foot time and actually would have ran a good pass. Well, for me, a good pass. And then I started having issues on that one. I'm excited to see what the truck can do if they're going to let people race in the next call-out event again, which I'm anxiously awaiting their next video calling people out to find out if I can, because I need to. It was so much fun. Joe, we still need to get together and see if we can't make something happen. I want another shot at that Duramax. Yeah, I'm planning on going. I just don't know if they're going to let people race like they did last time. He hasn't really talked about it with the buying into race. Joe comes to all of them. Joe, you were at North Carolina, weren't you? You made that type down there. If I remember correctly, anyway. Memory can be a little foggy sometimes. It looks like an awesome track. That looks like a really good time down there. It was hot but awesome. Yeah, I can see it being a little toasty down there. There's another one. Joe, you can hook up a trailer. Hook up a trailer race. You get the winner of between Steve and me. You can probably get a trailer pretty well loaded up with some weight. We'll start doing elimination rounds. Go until you lose. Yeah, I got to get off a Friday for that because I'd love to go. I know you tried to go to a bunch of them. The weather hasn't been cooperating with us for that. It's been irritating. Maybe I'll see if I can't get off one of these coming Fridays before my trip. I'll have to get online and check them out and see if I can't get someone to switch a shift with me, or I'll take their day shift if they take my 3 to 11. And then we can go race. Steve, I am super excited for your workshop to get built. That's going to be freaking cool. She wants to race. What'd she get, Steve? Last time I was over, you were just saying she was tired of having the old truck. That old truck, and it's not even that old of a truck. It runs great. The guys at Lowe's, Steve, when we picked up the grill, I'm not touching it. That was hysterical. What's a track hawk? Joe, you need to get her a Trackhawk because that would be awesome too. And she puts up with all your racing and traveling to North Carolina and Cecil County to race the company truck. She's nodding in agreement. 6.0 Bros exclusive. Steve's new ride. Dude, that's awesome. That's really cool. I always liked that. Thought the Range Rovers were always pretty cool. So, Joe, you're not listening through headphones this time to the stream? You're fully engaged along with anyone else in the house? Anyone else that's in the live stream, if you guys have questions or want to get in the chat, that's what makes these fun is hearing from everybody and loud and proud. You mean the one that doesn't post anything or that brother? He's MIA. That's where that brother's at. All right, the Trackhawk would have been cooler than the Range Rover, Steve. I'm with you there. It's still a cool SUV, though. Like, think of how depressing it would have been if she wanted a minivan. Because that would have been awful. And I so would have given you such a hard time about that if you had one. Let's get in the comments here. See his truck. Supercharged Rover, that's awesome. I still need to race the Denali, and apparently now I need to race a Range Rover too. Never see. You guys need to start commenting in all the videos. When's Josh releasing something? Because he reads the comments. And I don't know who it was. Somebody said something about Josh never posting. And sure as anything, later that day, Josh had a video posted. And Seth, I actually have been meaning to go up and hang out with him one day again and just go over everything that's done to his truck, because there's a fair amount of film somewhere of him doing a ton of work to his truck. And it just never really got released. So at some point, we need to make that happen. If he was still alive. Sean, one of our favorite contributors to the channel. Well, just to chime in, I finished my coolant reroute today. Shout out to you for going more in depth into the subject. No problem, Zach. I hope it was a big help, and send us pictures of what you did, how you rerouted it. Did you go with one of the kits, or did you kind of make your own? What the hell is going on over there? Steve, the RV race has to go down. It needs to. That would be, that video is going viral. We need to get at least like 3 other people filming for us so we get the full spectacle of us being a bunch of goofballs drag racing with trailers hooked up. Sean, thank you for coming in, man. Always great to have you. Take care, brother. Redneck Trailer Tow 2018. Yeah, buddy. Does anyone know how to play dueling banjos as our intro music for that video? The heck is coming up on the screen here? Yeah, I think dueling banjos would be fitting for such a video as that. Really help bring it all together in our true redneck way. That would be such an awesome time. We need to weigh your truck, Steve. Weigh your truck, weigh my truck, and then hook up to our campers and see. I bet with all the tools and that work body on there, we're probably pretty close. First guy to jackknife loses. I don't think it would be very hard for either of us to jackknife like that. That would be a painfully slow quarter mile, watching us go in reverse. Ethan, it did not work out well for me. I actually messed with it a couple times. Greg over at Diesel and Automotive tried it out for me. And I'm going to be tearing it up. I'm going to be picking it up. I should have picked it up today when I was out there. I'm going to pick it up Monday when I pick up my fan clutch. And again, that's probably going to be a fall or winter video of me tearing into that. But as of right now, I do not recommend the Turbo Lab America GT4088 cover. Not saying anything bad about them personally. They're, when I started having issues, I got like one response, and after that, they completely stopped talking to me as far as fixing an issue or anything. So I will be doing an update video on that cover and trying to figure out what it is. But as of right now, I'd recommend KC Turbo. Titan Turbo is another one that gets some good reviews. Those are the 2 guys I would go to. If James Barter still did it, he's actually like an hour and a half from me, but he only sells like stock turbos now. He doesn't do all the work he used to. Bought a cheaper kit, wasn't happy. I shot hooked it up, went straight from oil cooler up to heater hose. I ran it as close to. I do think the camper race needs to be a roll race, like a 45 to 70 kind of deal. See you, dude. Hit me up, Steve. Always good having you in here, brother. Let's see here. Seth, I pieced a turbo together, and I used a kit from Turbo Lab America. It was when he first released it. It was like $375. He's up to like $515 now. I saw, and I gotta say, for like, I don't even think any more money. I think you can get the same thing from KC Turbo. Essentially, it's not the GT4088 cover, but it's a machined out cover to basically do your own thing, except it's going to work. And if there is an issue, KC Turbo is going to take care of you. They have an excellent reputation for customer service. Turbo Labs America, it doesn't take but a few quick looks around to see his customer service is clearly lacking. And I have to stand by that it's clearly lacking because there was zero help or want to help me with mine. And yeah, I'm a little upset about it because it's $375 that doesn't do anything for me. That's just wasted in a paperweight, essentially. I'd love to get that turbo at least running and sell it to somebody for dirt cheap. But until then, it's just a paperweight. See my dog hanging out here. Say hi, Izzy. I am running a stock trans. Zach, that's a good way to run it. I like how Casey Turbo has a very nice video on how they ran it. And in fact, I love the kit I have. It's a nice setup to kind of run it around. But I gotta say, I don't think it's the greatest. I think it's high quality components. I think, but the actual fitment and stuff, I don't know. I think it could be better. And Greg at DNA took a ton of time how he wanted, and he ran it. He really tried to hide it, and you can't even really see it, which is cool. I like that it looks still factory until you get in there and know what you're looking at to see oh, this isn't supposed to be here. So it's kind of hidden by the wiring harness, which I think is nice. Oh, turbo house. She comes in time. Yeah. So mine ties into the same spot, but it kind of loops all around with the wiring harness and then comes down in front of the FICM and ties in to the heater hose underneath the degas bottle. Ever do an OBS build? I have never done an OBS build. That's not to say that at some point there couldn't be one on the channel, but the channel would need to grow and be a little more self-sustaining for me to justify that, especially because we also have other plans for other builds. We would love to do one. I think it would be cool. Just like that's Josh commenting down in the sections, or in the comment section. We love Fords. We both love the OBS look, and I think it'd be awesome to do a 350 crew cab long bed and just build it up. That'd be awesome. Maybe one day we can get there, but right now we don't have any plans to do something like that in the near future. Excuse me. Mile per gallon. So on my tow tune, right before I left for South Carolina, just driving around town, back and forth to work, back and forth to the gym, I got 15. I was pretty happy with that when you consider what all is done to the truck to get 15 just cruising around town. I was pretty happy. How much power do you make? I don't know anymore. On stock injectors, with everything done, it did put down 503 horsepower and 1,010 pound-feet of torque. Joe, always good having you, man. Hit me up. We gotta plan some stuff soon, brother. So that was on stock injectors. I've since upgraded to 175 stock nozzles. So I still have the stock nozzle part, which kind of holds me back on the high end. But what's nice is I should see a pretty decent increase across the whole RPM band. And I'll still see an increase on the high end, just not as much as I would if I had gone with a 30% nozzle. That's really where the nozzle size holds you back, is at the high end of it. I currently daily drive Windrunner Performance Engineering's race tune. I tow with his, it's a modified version of his tow tune. I asked him to pull more timing out to make less power, basically concerned with heat, keeping temps down. So he did do that. I do have his heavy, or I call it my heavy tow tune, because it probably makes about 30 to 50 more horsepower than what I actually have been towing with. I don't have any intention of running it with my camper. I think my camper is too heavy for that, and I'd just be risking messing something up. But my light tow, or my heavy tow tune, is the one that makes less power, but it is plenty of passing power for what I'm doing. I'm thinking about when I see. So 190/30s is my plan for injectors down the road, and a stage 2 turbo, actually. You'll definitely need a lift pump for 190s. 175 typically is about the max for what a healthy stock lift pump can do. There's a lot of people that do the 6.7 pump feeding the factory pump, and it still provides a lot of fuel. I do think some of the aftermarket kits are nicer, because if I was going to do that setup, I would replace both the factory pump and get a brand new 6.7 pump. By the time you have all that wired up and all the different fittings, you could probably buy like an Aeromotive kit, which is arguably one of the highest quality pumps you can get. There's Fuel Lab kits. I'm currently running a fast kit. Been very happy with it. Have no reason to switch out of it. I will probably run a fast system in my next truck too. If I were to build a drag truck, I'd go with fast. But Aeromotive, very nice kit. So you could. That's the route I would take. Fast. AirDog has gotten better reviews lately, and in fact, Greg A. I don't know if any of you guys follow his channel. He runs AirDogs on all of his trucks, and he puts down some pretty crazy power on his rig. So that's AirDog or Fast if you're looking for cheaper. If you want to spend a little more money, I think they are roughly like $400 to $500 more. Don't quote me on that, but it is a better setup than the Fast or AirDog systems. But yeah, you'll be able to get a tow tune for that. For towing, I highly recommend Windrunner Performance. If you're looking to go as fast as you can, Innovative Diesel is where I would go, and that's what I drag race with. I do plan on trying a few other tuners. Truck Source Diesel gets referenced a lot. Gearhead gets referenced a lot, so I'll probably try their race tunes. But I'm too happy with how my tow tune is to even consider trying different tow tunes. So Ethan, if that answers your question, yes, I have tried Innovative Tuning. I do love their tuning. They've had pretty good customer service. They actually follow the channel a little bit. Excuse me. And if you need something tweaked, they'll tweak it. They get you tunes fast. If you bought a tune tonight, tomorrow sometime you would have it if you gave them all the information they leave or that they need to write your tune. I'd guarantee tomorrow you'd have it. All my tunes were one-day turnarounds. I've even gotten tunes on Sunday before, so they are very good. I don't think getting a tune on a Sunday is a common thing, but they did hook me up one weekend, so been very, very happy with them. Buy a new 6.7 and use the one you worked on already for a drag track. Seth, I would love to do that, but I don't have, my pockets are not that deep for that nonsense. One day I will have a 6.7, and I'll still probably daily the 6-liter, but I'll probably put a slightly bigger lift on, bigger tires, because it won't need to tow my camper anymore at that point. So I'd probably do like a total of 5 inches of lift, something like that, and really have some fun with it and just goof around town. Nick, I don't know what you agreed with me on, but thank you. I appreciate it. Greg A got me into the AirDog pumps. So I'm running a 125 on from Fast Fuel. I run a 125. And the Fast pumps are definitely a big price jump from the AirDog. I wish Fast made like a 165 or a 150 like AirDog does, because the AirDog 150 is rated, I think, for like 700 or 800 horsepower, whereas my current Fast pump is rated for like 600. Now, the Fast 220 is obviously rated for much, much more. I think they quote that to like 8 or 9. But I think the AirDog 150 would be fine, unless you're really looking to do a ton of power. I mean, for me to think that you would need more than a 150, you'd have to be shooting for high 700, 800 horsepower. But I would imagine a 150 should get you to 7. And most people are not looking for that kind of power out of a daily driver truck, but that'll hold 190s just fine. I really like the display of the CTM. So Seth, here's how you solve that. Don't tune with CTS or the Edge products. Tune with an SCT and just get the monitor. The CTS2 gets tons of great reviews. Edge is not like I know Edge is a great, nothing against Edge, the company itself, but I'm not aware of anyone that custom tunes off it. So I would tune with SCT and go from there. And just get the monitoring solution. Sorry, guys, I've been doing a lot of talking. What's your opinion on 7.3s? We love 7.3s. We plan on, my dad has a 7.3 that's going to make some brief appearances on the channel. Just because he wants to do injectors in his truck, and I convinced him to go bigger than stock. So I'm going to do something with that when that time comes. I do not think my cam put the fuel mileage down. I don't know if you were in for just a little bit ago, but just driving around town with traffic lights and stop signs everywhere, I got 15 on my tow tune, which is a great daily driving tune. Currently, I'm running one of my 3 race tunes. But the problem there is I tend to drive a little faster, and that kind of hurts my fuel mileage. I still get like 12, but I'm on it pretty good. So if I could be an adult, 15 driving around town, I do plan to do a little on-highway driving. Got to go with the wind. See you, Seth. Always good having you in here, man. Thanks for all your posts and comments and questions. So no, I do not. I don't think the cam hurt my fuel mileage at all. I have not seen 15 driving around town like that ever. So I would imagine it's helping, would be my assumption. And FBI, like Josh said, the 99 through 03 7.3s are great trucks. While towing. Well, I think part of what that was I do have one intercooler boot that's not holding all the boost. But I will say this, going 70, 75 miles an hour with 13,000 pounds hooked up, I didn't think 9 was terrible for that, considering that's what I was getting before everything was done. So to still get 9 and have so much more power out of the truck, I was pretty happy. Now I am hoping once I get this one intercooler boot set up, fixed, and addressed, I am obviously hoping to have better luck with that. But yeah, I need to replace the clamps. The clamps on there are garbage. Very frustrating for me. But that's why I replaced my hot side pipe down at the beach, because that blew off too. So now it's just my cold side pipe I need to, I'm planning on upgrading to probably a no limit fabrication setup, but I'm going to get nice clamps for this and run them probably for just a little bit before I end up selling or giving my old intercooler pipe setup away. Second choice if I didn't have a 6-liter. That's a hard one. I love the body style of the 6.4, but the 6.4 is probably the one motor that might take a worse rep than the 6-liter. I'm not saying you can't make them reliable, but I wouldn't. I know, Josh, 6.7. I would love to have a 6.7, but I'm trying to think reasonably, and I don't know that I could afford to get into the 6.7 I want. But a 6.7 Power Stroke would be preferred if that was a viable option for me. I'm not sure. I can say I wouldn't buy any Cummins product. Nothing against that motor. I just don't care how it sounds, and the transmission and Dodges are garbage. I'd rather the 17 plus. I would take a 15 or 16 because in 15 they put a bigger turbo in, a 7.3 crate. I would prefer to not go back to backwards to a 7.3 for towing. For daily driving, I'd have no issue with a modified 7.3. Do you think a TS straight plug intake would make my night zone? No, Nick, I do not. The 97s, I think, are, let's see here. So if you take a brand new, or if you take like a 99 through 03 7-liter or 7.3, and you put a race tune on it with an upgraded injector, I think, and don't quote me on this, I want to say they're 125 stock, but they also have a pilot injection that I think wastes like 10 cc's to try to quiet it down. But if you went to like a 180 cc injector on that truck, I still think you're only looking at like, I mean, you're close then. You're talking 385. I'm not sure of the differences in the early years, but I think that's an E40D transmission, and I believe they are pretty weak. So I imagine at 400 horsepower, you'd probably be looking at a transmission. Don't quote me because it's not what I know. I'm not very familiar with that platform. But I think it would be an expensive build probably to get there. That was today. FBI, thanks for that, because I don't, anyone that knows that platform better, please chime in to help them out. But I will say this, we get these numbers in our head for truck builds and where we want to be and how much power to make. 350 in that OBS would feel like such a huge jump. To have that in there, you'd feel like you were driving a completely different truck. So, like I said, I would recommend those upgrades, because 350 horsepower is nothing to shy away about. Now, at that old of a truck, you go down to a tow tune. I would imagine the tow tune is probably 50 to 70 horsepower less. And again, don't quote me because I don't know that platform at all, but I would imagine that's probably where you'd fall. 7.3s, they're great motors, and I agree with what Josh said, that you set a reasonable goal. I think FBI was asking about the Super Duty 7.3s. 400 horsepower is 400 horsepower in a truck is a lot. I know my tunes that make around 400 are a blast to drive, and they surprise a lot of people on the road when little cars come up and want to goof around. I can still take them on those tunes. So 400 horsepower in a truck is a lot. Like, the bar's been pushed so far at this point, because then you're talking rear wheel horsepower. So to go from making 185 horsepower at the wheels to 350, I know that's not cheap, because I think Baby Swamp injectors are like a $1,600 injector, plus a turbo upgrade. So probably throw another $1,000 in there. And again, I'd be questioning the health of the transmission at that point. But that'd be a fun truck. That's very true. And again, I think it just goes to show my ignorance to the 7.3 platform. I know basics about it, and that's really it. I know I was at a dyno event where a guy had what he called stage 1.5 or something like that injectors. I think they were like 180 cc and like a 50% nozzle. And on his race tune, he made like 385. And that was a Super Duty 7.3. That wasn't the OBS. So something to keep in mind when you, and back to Josh's point about reliable, when you start making so much more power than what the truck was ever designed to do, you start figuring out other points that weren't weak points in the design to begin with now are becoming weak points. For instance, in the 99 through 03 7.3s, well, I guess it was starting in about 01, I think, they went to the powder metal rods. And I think over like 450, you have issues. Like 400 to 450, I think, is where they start to break. Now they have forged powder metal rods or something like that the 6-liter comes with that are able to handle. What's the 6? I think they quote them for like 700. There's a guy that I was just talking to Greg at DNA that has a 6-liter on a stock bottom end running like 800 horsepower, but he limits his RPMs. That's how it's holding together. Is it doesn't spin very fast, or it would break everything. But I think they say like 600 to 700 is fine for a stock bottom end. On a 7.3, that's not the case. You're gonna blow it up. It's gonna ruin your truck. So for the parts that can go bad, overbuild them to the amount of power you want to help keep it reliable. Completely agree with Josh's statement. That is true. There is a difference in, I don't know if it's the manufacturing process of it or they beefed it up, because the 6-liter does have the powder metal rods as well as the 7.3, but there is a difference. I don't know if it's as you should. I don't know why I give him anything. There is a difference that allows the 6-liter to handle more. I think, I don't know, I believe around that time for a truck like that, it was a new thing coming out. I could be wrong, but there is definitely a difference between the two in design of some sort. Similar manufacturing process, though. There was a thread online on powerstroke.org where somebody actually, who knew much more than myself about the process, actually broke down what the difference was. I wish I could remember where exactly it was or what the title was to put a link somewhere for people to check out, because it is interesting to me. But it's for a 7.3, it's an easy but expensive fix. Get forged rods. Now you're talking a chunk of change to get there, but go ahead and buy them and it's fixed. It's just a matter of either staying under their threshold, whether it be through superior tuning. Better tunes have come out, more advanced tuning for the 7.3 to allow it to live at a higher horsepower. I don't think I've seen that video. I'll have to check it out. I go 50-50. Some videos of Bill's I really, really like and think they're really informative, and other videos he just rants too much for me sometimes. I mean, I think he's been a positive influence for the power stroke community as a whole, so I like him. But sometimes his videos turn into too big of a tangent. I can't do it. Well, guys, I do think this is going to conclude it. He's passionate. Passionate is a great word to call Bill. I would actually love to meet him and get to have lunch with him or something and pick his brain, because I'm sure he's, as somebody that, I've done a few videos now, and it's not always easy to get what you're trying to say across in video. It can be really challenging some days, and I think I've continued to improve at it, but there's still definitely nice barbell. Yes. My friends from New York, when we were up there, not this past time, the time before, bought this for me as a gift. I guess that was this time last year when I was up that they did it. I'm actually heading up there the first weekend in October, and I don't know if we're going to be heading out of camp. If we do, I could imagine we'd hit barbells up, but I think Trump is Jesus. Well, there's a random. I think Trump's been a pretty good president, all in all. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say Jesus. That seems a tad extreme. But I appreciate your opinion, Isaac. So, Kyle, if you're in that neck of the woods that first weekend in October, I might be around. You might bump into me. If you do see me, seriously, stop me and say hi. I would love that. It'd be cool. Like, Isaac, if it makes you feel better, I voted for him, and I'm definitely a Republican. So I believe 50 years. See you, Nick. Have a good one, man. Thanks for coming in. I love doing these live streams with everybody. They're always kind of hard to stop when everyone's coming in and asking questions. I wish I could go all night, but starting to feel it a little in my throat here from talking for an hour and 20 minutes straight. Yeah, Kyle, it'd be cool to bump into you if we actually leave camp. I don't know that we will or not, but stop me and say hi, man. It'd be cool. I like this Isaac guy. Isaac, have you commented on any videos before? Because I like what you're saying. I still think the Jesus comment was a tad extreme. Isaac, I apologize for pulling that message, but well, hey man, FBI, thanks for coming in, dude. Really appreciate it. Like I said, great to have all of you guys here. But Isaac, people can see these. I think you understand. No big deal, man. But Isaac, definitely comment on videos. You really livened up the end of this stream. Zach, good to have you. If you ever have any questions, man, comment on any of the videos. Josh and I work really hard to try to comment back to everybody. So, we'll get to you if we can. We appreciate everybody's input today, guys. I'm probably going to give Josh a call and give him a hard time. But I love when he comes in too. I've popped in on a few of his live streams. It's always a fun time, guys. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. We have a lot of videos coming still. I'm going to get caught up hopefully by the end of the weekend. And then Radiator goes into the truck on Tuesday with a new fan clutch. Gonna film that whole thing. So anyway, guys, have a good one. Forget how the heck to end these. Isaac, have a good one, man. Take care, guys.